Life gives everyone 24 hours a day, but what you choose to do with those hours shapes your future. Right now, you have a choice. Waste your time or invest it in yourself. The truth is, your dreams won't wait forever. With your goals, your ambitions, your future, they are calling you, and the best time to answer is now. Studying is not just about passing an exam. It's about building discipline, creating opportunities, and shaping a life you're proud of. Procrastination might feel comfortable today, but it will steal your tomorrow. Every second you waste is a second you'll wish you had back when deadlines come, when competition rises, when opportunities appear. Others out there are preparing, working hard, and moving forward. If you're not doing the same, you're falling behind. Stop telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a trap. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you create by taking action now. Remember, studying now means freedom later. It means confidence in the exam hall, peace of mind before results, and the power to choose your future path. So close the distractions, open your books, and remind yourself why you started. Your future self is counting on you. Study now, not later, not a someday, but today. Time is your most valuable resource. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. Procrastination steals your future. Delaying studies delays your dreams. Studying builds discipline. It's training for both the mind and character. Your competition is working, others are moving forward while you wait. There is no perfect time. To start, the right time is always now. Preparation brings confidence. Studying now means walking into exams without fear. Small efforts add up. Daily studying creates long-term success. Your future self will thank you. Actions today determine tomorrow's rewards. Distractions are temporary, but knowledge lasts a lifetime. Study now for freedom later. Education opens choices and opportunities. Time is the one resource in life that every single person gets in equal measure. Rich or poor, young or old, talented or inexperienced. Everyone has exactly 24 hours in a day. But what separates success from failure, progress from regret, is how you choose to use those hours. You can always earn more money, make more friends, or gain more possessions, but you can never earn more time. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever, and no amount of effort can bring it back. When it comes to studying, this truth becomes even more important. Every hour you spend scrolling endlessly on your phone, every evening you waste telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, is not just a lost hour. It's an opportunity stolen from your future self. Education is built on the accumulation of consistent effort over time. You can't cram true understanding into the last minute before an exam. Deep knowledge grows day by day in the hours you commit now. Think about it this way. The person you will be in 1 year is shaped by what you do with your time today. If you dedicate those hours to studying, to understanding concepts, to practicing problems, you will step into your future with skills, confidence, and readiness. But if you let time slip away into distractions and procrastination, you will meet that same future unprepared and full of regret. Time is also unique because it is constantly moving forward. It does not pause for you to catch up. It does not slow down when you are tired, and it does not wait until you feel ready. The minutes you waste today are the same minutes that could have been invested into becoming better at your subjects, your thinking, your problem solving, and your discipline. Imagine two students starting at the same point. One chooses to study 1 hour each day, the other delays. After a month, the first has invested 30 focused hours into learning, while the other has invested 0. That gap will not disappear, it will only widen. In the modern world, distractions are more powerful than ever. Social media, entertainment, endless notifications compete for every second of your attention. The trap is that each distraction seems small, just 5 minutes, but those minutes pile up until whole hours vanish. The dangerous thing is that time lost to distraction feels harmless now, but becomes painful later when deadlines and exams arrive, and you realize you can't get those moments back. Successful people, whether in academics, business, or life, all share one trait. They value time more than anything else. They protect it, plan it, and use it wisely. They understand that small chunks of focused time, repeated daily, lead to mastery. That same principle applies to your studies. If you treat time as a treasure, you will handle it with care, making sure that you spend it on things that bring real value. Studying now is an investment in your future self. Every chapter you complete today is one less you have to stress over later. Every hour you dedicate now is a step ahead of the competition. Every bit of effort compounds like interest in a bank. The earlier you start, the greater the return. The real challenge is not whether you have the time to study. It's whether you can see the value of the time you already have. Procrastination is one of the most dangerous habits a student can develop because it disguises itself as harmless. It whispers, "You still have time. You can start tomorrow. You'll feel more motivated later. But in reality, procrastination is a thief. And what it steals is not just your time, but your chances, your opportunities, and your peace of mind. Every time you choose to delay studying, you are allowing an invisible debt to build up. The tasks you put off don't disappear. They pile up in the background, waiting for you, growing heavier and more urgent with every passing day. What begins as a small chapter to review turns into several chapters, then an entire subject, until the weight of catching up feels impossible. And when the pressure finally forces you to start, you'll find yourself rushing, stressed, and unprepared. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you didn't start when you should have. Procrastination doesn't just affect your grades, it shapes your future. Every delayed day is a day that could have been spent mastering a topic, practicing a skill, or building confidence in your knowledge. When you give in to procrastination, you're essentially giving up control of your future and handing it over to chance. You're letting last-minute panic decide your performance instead of steady preparation. The most deceptive thing about procrastination is that it offers comfort now but delivers pain later. In the moment, watching a video, chatting with friends, or taking a short break feels relaxing. But that short-term comfort comes at the cost of long-term stress. When deadlines approach, procrastinators often experience guilt, regret, and anxiety, emotions that could have been avoided by simply starting earlier. Imagine two versions of yourself. One who studies consistently and one who procrastinates. The consistent version walks into the exam hall calm, confident, and ready because they have been preparing for weeks. The procrastinating version walks in nervous, tired, and unsure, relying on luck instead of preparation. Both versions had the same potential at the beginning, but their choices determined their outcomes. Procrastination also creates a cycle that is hard to break. You delay, then you feel guilty for delaying. That guilt drains your motivation, making it even harder to start, so you delay again. Over time, you begin to believe that you're someone who can't focus or is always late, which damages your self-image and confidence. But the truth is, procrastination is not who you are. It's just a habit you've been feeding. And like any habit, it can be broken by choosing differently in the present moment. The key to overcoming procrastination is realizing that the hardest part is simply starting. Once you take the first step, opening your book, reading the first page, solving the first problem, momentum builds. 4. Action fuels motivation, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is a trap because motivation is not something that appears magically. It's something you create through action. When you stop procrastinating, you're not just saving your grades, you're building a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. You're training your mind to take responsibility, to act even when it's not comfortable, and to value progress over excuses. Every time you choose to start now instead of later, you take back a piece of your future from procrastination's hands. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement, and studying is one of the most powerful ways to build it. Many people think studying is only about learning facts, memorizing formulas, or passing exams. But in reality, it's about training your mind to focus, work consistently, and keep going even when you don't feel like it. But discipline is not something you are born with. It's something you develop. And studying is the perfect training ground. When you sit down to study, You're practicing much more than the subject in front of you. You're practicing commitment. You're teaching yourself to follow through on something you planned even when distractions are calling your name. You're learning how to resist the temptation of comfort and choose the path of growth instead. Path of growth. And every time you make that choice, you strengthen your ability to do it again in other areas of life. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first time you push yourself to study instead of watching TV, it might feel hard. The second time, it's still a challenge, but a little easier. Over time, making disciplined choices becomes part of who you are. And that's the beauty of it. Once you develop discipline in your studies, it carries over to your health, your career, your relationships, and every other goal you set. Studying regularly teaches you the value of consistency. You begin to understand that big achievements are not the result of one giant effort, but of small, steady actions repeated over time. Just like an athlete trains daily to prepare for a big competition, a student studies daily to prepare for exams and life challenges. Discipline ensures that you don't wait for the right mood or perfect conditions. You do the work because it needs to be done. One of the greatest benefits of building discipline through studying is that it helps you overcome laziness and procrastination. You start to trust yourself because you know you can rely on your own commitment. That self-trust is powerful. It gives you confidence not just in your academics, but in your ability to handle any challenge life throws your way. Without discipline, talent can be wasted. Many intelligent students fail to reach their potential because they lack the consistency to put in the work. On the other hand, students who may not start with extraordinary talent can achieve remarkable success simply because they are disciplined enough to keep showing up and improving every day. Discipline also helps you stay focused in a world full of distractions. Social media, games, and entertainment are constantly fighting for your attention. But when you've trained your mind through disciplined study habits, you learn how to block out the noise and give your full focus to the task at hand. This ability to concentrate deeply is becoming rare, and those who have it stand out in every field. Every study session is a chance to train this discipline. Even when the topic feels boring, even when you're tired, even when it seems like the last thing you want to do, pushing through and doing it anyway is what builds the mental strength that will carry you through life. When you study, you're not just learning information. You're shaping the kind of person you become. Whether you realize it or not, you are in a race. Not a race to beat others for the sake of pride, but a race to secure opportunities, positions, and chances that are limited in number. Every scholarship, every seat in a top university, every job opening, they all have competition. And while you might be thinking about starting tomorrow, someone else is already working today. Right now, somewhere in the world, another student is reading an extra chapter, solving an extra problem, or watching an extra lecture. They are using their time to get just a little better each day. And those small improvements will add up. When the day comes for the exam, interview, or selection, their preparation will show. And if you've been idle while they've been working, they will be the one ready to take the opportunity you wanted. It's not about comparing yourself to others in a way that discourages you. It's about understanding that the world rewards effort. If two people have the same goal, the one who prepared more, practiced harder, and started earlier will almost always win. That's the reality. Success doesn't care about excuses. It cares about results. And results come to those who put in the work. The thought that there's still time is dangerous because it creates a false sense of security. While you relax thinking you have weeks left, your competition is building a foundation that will be hard to match later. By the time you finally start, they will already be miles ahead. The gap will not be easy to close because preparation is not built overnight. Think about athletes. A runner doesn't just show up on race day and hope to win. They train for months, sometimes years, because they know their competitors are doing the same. The same principle applies to studying. Every day you delay is a day your competition is getting stronger while you remain the same. Same. Your competition may not even be someone you know. They might be in another city, another country, speaking another language, but they are working with the same dream you have. And when the results are announced, you won't see the hours they spent preparing. You'll just see their name where you wanted yours to be. The question is not whether competition exists, it always does. The question is whether you are keeping up. Because when the opportunity finally appears, there will be no time left to prepare. It will be too late to wish you had studied more, too late to wonder where all the hours went. Your competition is not just working harder, they are building habits, sharpening skills, and strengthening their minds. They are showing up day after day, even when they don't feel like it, because they know that every session counts. They are not waiting for motivation to strike. They are disciplined enough to act without it. The truth is, opportunities don't go to the person who could succeed. They go to the person who did the work. And the only way to make sure you're ready is to start now, because someone else already has. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, I'll start when the time is right. Right. They wait for the perfect moment. The day when they'll magically feel motivated, when there will be no distractions, when everything in life will align perfectly so they can focus. But here's the truth. That day will never come. Life is never going to pause and give you a flawless opportunity to begin. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you will wait forever. The problem with this mindset is that it gives you an excuse to delay. You start convincing yourself that you're being strategic by not starting now, when in reality, you're just avoiding the discomfort of getting to work. Starting is hard. It takes effort, energy, and focus. Things that feel challenging in the moment. But that's exactly why you need to start now. Because the sooner you begin, the sooner you build momentum. The truth is, conditions are never perfect for anyone. Even the most successful students don't have ideal schedules, endless motivation, or zero distractions. What separates them from the rest is that they start anyway. They use what they have, where they are, and they make progress despite imperfection. Think about the moments in life when you've achieved something important. Chances are you didn't have everything lined up perfectly before you began. You simply took the first step, and as you moved forward, things started to fall into place. The same applies to studying. Waiting for the perfect mood or perfect schedule is like waiting for the wind to blow in your direction before you start walking. You'll never get anywhere. Some people tell themselves they'll start next week, next month, or after a certain event. But every time you push your starting point into the future, you shrink the amount of time you have to prepare. And when the deadline comes, you'll find yourself rushing, stressed, and wishing you had begun earlier. Starting now doesn't just give you more time to study. It gives you more chances to understand deeply, to revise properly, and to avoid last-minute panic. The idea of the perfect time is also dangerous because it feeds perfectionism. You begin to believe that you need the right mood, the right energy, the right resources before you can begin. But the most successful learners know that action creates readiness, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel ready. You get ready by starting. And here's something important. The first step is always the hardest. Opening your book, setting aside distractions, and beginning to read that first page takes more effort than continuing once you're in motion. The good news is that once you take that step, momentum kicks in. You find yourself engaged, focused, and making progress, all because you didn't wait for the perfect time. Starting now also teaches you resilience. It shows you that you can take action even when things aren't ideal. And that's a skill that will serve you for the rest of your life. Because in the real world, conditions are rarely perfect. Success belongs to those who act despite the imperfections, not those who sit around waiting for the stars to align. Confidence is not something that appears out of nowhere. It is not a magic feeling you wake up with on exam day. True confidence is built piece by piece through preparation. When you have studied thoroughly, when you have put in the hours, and when you know you have done the work, you walk into the exam hall with a completely different mindset. You don't fear the questions, you expect them, you recognize them, and you know how to solve them. Preparation is the foundation of confidence because it removes uncertainty. Fear comes from the unknown. Confidence comes from familiarity. When you have read the chapters, solved the problems, and practiced repeatedly, the unknown becomes the known. The exam is no longer a mystery. It's simply a chance to show what you already know. Think about the times you felt nervous before a test, presentation, or performance. Was it because you lacked ability, or was it because you hadn't prepared enough? More often than not, anxiety isn't about capability. It's about readiness. The mind knows when it's underprepared, and that knowledge creates doubt. On the other hand, when you've put in consistent effort, your brain trusts your abilities. You replace the thought, what if I fail? With I'm ready for this. Preparation also gives you mental strength. Exams are not just a test of knowledge. They are a test of focus and composure. Even if you know the material, panic can cloud your thinking. But when you've prepared deeply, you have a calm assurance that helps you stay collected under pressure. Under pressure. You've practiced so much that solving questions feels natural even in a stressful environment. Confidence built through preparation is different from false confidence. False confidence is when someone believes they can wing it without studying, and it usually ends in disappointment. Real confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable because it's backed by action. It doesn't rely on luck or last-minute cramming. It comes from knowing you've done the work day after day. Preparation also allows you to handle surprises better. Sometimes, exams throw unexpected questions at you. If you've only studied the bare minimum, you might panic. But if you've prepared thoroughly, you have a deeper understanding of the subject, which helps you adapt. You can think critically, connect concepts, and find solutions even to tricky problems. The beauty of preparation is that it compounds over time. Every small study session adds a layer to your confidence. The more you revise, the more your knowledge solidifies. And as your knowledge grows, so does your belief in your ability to perform well. This is why starting early and staying consistent is so important. You give yourself the time to build not just information in your head, but also strength in your mind. Confidence isn't loud or boastful. It's the quiet peace you feel when you know you're ready. It's the difference between walking into the exam hall with a racing heart and walking in with steady breathing. It's the power to face challenges without fear because you've already fought the small battles in your study sessions. When you prepare, you are not just learning facts. You are training yourself to believe in your own abilities, and that belief can change everything. When people think about success, they often imagine it as one big leap, a single moment when everything changes. But in reality, success is built through hundreds, even thousands of small steps. The hours you study today may not feel like they're making a huge difference, but over time those small efforts combine to create massive results. Think of studying like saving money. If you put away a small amount every day, it might not seem like much at first. But over the weeks and months, those small deposits grow into a large sum. Knowledge works the same. Every page you read, every problem you solve, every concept you revise, it's all a deposit into your mental bank account. And when exam day comes, you'll be able to draw from that account with confidence. The danger is that many people underestimate the power of small efforts. They think it's only one chapter. It won't matter if I skip it today. But one missed day often leads to another. And before you know it, you've lost weeks of potential progress. On the other hand, even 30 minutes of focused study each day can transform your understanding over time. The key is consistency. Small efforts are powerful because they are manageable. You don't need to study for 10 hours straight to make progress. You just need to show up every day. When you commit to consistent effort, you avoid the stress and panic of last-minute cramming. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, you build your knowledge gradually, layer by layer, in a way that stays with you long after the exam. One of the best things about small efforts is that they create momentum. The first step might feel difficult, but once you've started, it becomes easier to keep going. Maybe you sit down planning to study for 20 minutes and you end up studying for an hour because you're in the flow. Each small effort fuels the next one, and soon you find yourself achieving far more than you thought possible. Small efforts also teach discipline and patience. In a world where people want instant results, choosing to make consistent, steady progress sets you apart. It shows that you're willing to put in the work even when the reward isn't immediate. That mindset will serve you in every area of life because the greatest achievements, whether in academics, career, or personal goals, are always the result of long-term commitment. Think about professional athletes, musicians, or experts in any field. They didn't master their skills in a single day or week. They practiced a little every day, improving bit by bit until their small gains became extraordinary results. Studying works exactly the same way. You may not notice the difference from one day to the next, but after a month of daily effort, your skills, memory, and confidence will be far beyond where you started. The truth is, big results are just the visible tip of an iceberg made up of countless small, unseen actions. Each study session you complete might feel ordinary, but it's part of a much bigger picture. You're building a foundation that will carry you not just through exams, but through every challenge that requires focus, knowledge, and perseverance. Every time you choose to make even a small effort today, you're adding another brick to the structure of your success. Ending study now, own your future, every dream you have, every goal you've imagined, every life you want to live, it all begins with the choices you make today. Not tomorrow, not a one day, today. Time is passing whether you use it or not. Procrastination is stealing opportunities whether you notice it or not. Your competition is moving forward whether you're ready or not. And the only way to keep up, the only way to win, is to start now. Studying is more than just reading books or passing exams. It's building discipline, shaping your mindset, and preparing yourself for the life you deserve. Every hour you study is an investment in a future where you have options, confidence, and freedom. There will never be a perfect moment. Life will always be busy, messy, and full of distractions. But success belongs to the ones who act despite imperfections. The ones who decide, I will not waste another minute. Your future self is waiting, and they are hoping you make the right choice today. The question is, when the time comes to look back, will you smile knowing you gave it your all, or will you wish you had started sooner? The choice is in your hands right now. So close the excuses, silence the distractions, open your books, and study. Not later, not tomorrow, but now. Because the best way to predict your future is to create it today.